Welcome everyone to English Talk Podcast. This is where we really dive deep into topics that, well, they shape your life and help boost your English skills along the way.
That's right.
And today, oh boy, we're tackling something pretty universal, definitely exciting, but let's be real, sometimes a bit nerve-wracking.
Uh-huh.
We're navigating the world of first dates. You know, it's just packed with social cues, unspoken rules, and yeah, chances to really connect.
It really is. And for this deep dive, we've looked at quite a range of things.
Mm.
Studies on attraction, communication, practical guides on etiquette, even how culture plays a role. The idea isn't just to give a list of do this, don't do that. It's more about uncovering the why.
Yeah.
Why certain things work on a first date, understanding those subtle dynamics.
Exactly. And that's really why you listening right now, especially if you're aiming to get a better handle on English in real social spots, will find this super useful. This isn't only about dating rules, though. Yeah, we'll cover those. You're going to pick up practical words, phrases you can use right away, get a feel for cultural stuff that boosts your confidence anywhere, really.
Yeah.
And just understand those unwritten rules. It'll help you feel, more comfortable, more natural in English chats about relationships, friends, or just hanging out.
Absolutely. It's all connected.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Picture this scenario, kind of a classic one. You've got a big night planned, a first date.
Uh-huh. The classic setup.
Yeah. So maybe you met someone, say, at a friend's party last month. You've texted back and forth a bit. There's some interest there, seems mutual.
Right.
And now, finally, you're going out, dinner, and the place. An Italian spot downtown. It's described as like not too fancy, but still got that romantic vibe.
It's such a common, relatable situation, isn't it? And what's fascinating is that almost immediate feeling. Lots of us get the nerves, the butterflies, that little bit of anxiety.
Oh,
Yeah. And, psychology tells us that's completely normal. It's like our awareness is heightened because, well, the social stakes feel kind of high, right? Potential connection, romance.
Mm-hmm.
But the location choice, like that Italian place, that's smart. It's not stuffy or intimidating, but it still says, hey, this is special. Research actually shows that these kinds of relaxed, slightly nice, but not overly formal places, they help conversation flow better. Less pressure.
That makes sense. Setting the stage for, like, real interaction, not a performance.
Exactly.
Okay, so now here's where it gets really, really interesting. You're actually there on the date. What are the golden rules for the conversation? Because that's where I think a lot of the fear about, awkward silences creeps in. What's the main advice?
Right. The number one thing, and it sounds simple, but it's easy to forget when you're nervous, is to really shift your focus outward.
Outward.
Yeah. Don't just talk about yourself. The key is genuine curiosity.
Yeah.
You need to actually ask them questions, show you're interested in them. And this isn't just like being polite. It's how connection works. Asking good, open-ended questions and really listening. That makes the other person feel valued, interesting. It actually triggers positive responses in the brain.
Ah, okay. So less, I did this, I like that, and more, what about you, kind of thing.
Precisely. Instead of just saying, I love hiking, maybe ask, so what kind of things do you love doing in your free time? Or have you traveled anywhere interesting lately? It opens doors.
Right, making them feel fascinating. But okay, what about those silences, the ones everyone dreads? Especially if English isn't your first language, that can feel extra scary. How do you handle those moments?
It is a big fear, but totally manageable. If you hit one of those lulls, where the chat just kind of stops, don't panic.
Easier said than done.
True. But the trick isn't to suddenly come up with something profound. It's about having a few sort of back pocket topics ready. Think light things. Hobbies, maybe recent travel, even a funny little story from your past.
Okay, like conversation starters ready to go.
Exactly. Conversational bridges, almost. So if you were talking about work and it fizzles out, you could gently pivot, like, speaking of different experiences, have you been on any cool trips recently? Or, that reminds me of this funny thing that happened when I was a kid.
Ah, I see. It keeps it flowing without feeling forced. Like natural small talk, but with a bit of a plan.
You got it. It builds that comfort, that rapport. It's not just swapping facts.
That's really helpful. Now, speaking of keeping things comfortable, there's that advice about not coming on too strong. What does that actually mean? How do you avoid it, especially if you are interested and maybe trying to express that in another language?
Good question. Coming on too strong. It basically means showing like too much intense emotion or interest too early on. It can feel a bit overwhelming for the other person.
Okay, like being overly complimentary or asking really personal stuff right away.
Yeah, exactly. Or even just, physically too close too soon. The advice is generally keep it light, keep it friendly, maintain a relaxed vibe, let the connection kind of breathe and develop naturally.
So more like a gentle nudge than a big push.
Perfect analogy. Instead of saying something intense like, wow, I think I'm already falling for you, maybe something more measured. I'm really enjoying talking with you. You have great perspective.
Gotcha.
A huge tool for keeping it light. Humor? Don't forget to try and make them laugh. It's seriously the best icebreaker.
Ah, icebreaker. That's a great term. Can you unpack that a bit more for our listeners? What exactly is an icebreaker in a conversation?
Sure. So an icebreaker isn't just the very first thing you say. It's something you say or do, often early on, specifically designed to, well, break the ice,
Hmm.
to melt away that initial stiffness or awkwardness.
Okay.
Effective icebreakers often have a bit of humor, maybe a genuine compliment, or just a light observation about where you are. Something that invites the other person to respond easily.
So not just hi, but maybe something like.
Right, maybe, wow, this place has a great atmosphere, doesn't it? Or a sincere, specific compliment like, that's a really cool scarf, where did you find it? Something that opens the door gently.
That makes sense. It creates a little shared moment right at the start.
Exactly, it makes it easier to then move into a real conversation.
These are such useful strategies, honestly, not just for dating, but anytime you're meeting new people or navigating social stuff. Understanding this and the words around it is so key for English learners wanting to connect authentically.
Totally agree. It's about the art of connection.
Okay, let's shift just a little bit. What about the practical stuff? Like the bill. Paying the bill, that can be super tricky, right? Different cultures, different expectations.
Oh, absolutely. That moment can definitely feel loaded. But the etiquette guides are pretty consistent on this one. For a phone date, offering to pay is generally seen as the polite thing to do.
Offering. So it's about the gesture.
Exactly. It's a gesture of courtesy, of consideration. It shows you're willing to host, in a sense. It often contributes to a good impression, suggests you're thoughtful, confident.
Okay, that makes sense. It's a signal. But what if the other person insists on paying their share or wants to split it? That happens a lot now.
Yeah, absolutely. And the advice there is just as clear. If they insist on splitting the bill, just go with it gracefully.
So don't argue about it.
Definitely not. Splitting the bill just means sharing the cost, usually equally. If you've made the initial polite offer and they prefer to split, just accept it easily. Making a fuss can create weirdness. The goal is a smooth, comfortable end to the date, right? Respecting their preference is part of that.
Right, keep it smooth, avoid the awkward bill dance. Understanding these little points really does help make a good impression, avoids misunderstanding. It shows you're kind of uh, socially aware.
Precisely. It's those small things.
So, okay, we've covered conversation, avoiding awkwardness, paying the bill. After all these tips and rules, what's like the big picture advice, the main mindset someone should have on a first date?
After boiling everything down, the most consistent and maybe most powerful advice is surprisingly simple.
Which is?
Just relax and be yourself. Seriously. It sounds like a cliche, maybe, but
But it's true.
it really seems to be. Trying too hard to be perfect or say the right thing often backfires. Being comfortable in your own skin, showing your genuine personality that's incredibly attractive, that's where real charm comes from.
Charm. Can you define that a bit? What is charm in this context?
Yeah, charm isn't about putting on an act. It's more like a pleasing quality, an appeal that draws people in naturally. And it often comes from simply being at ease, being authentic, maybe even showing a little vulnerability. It's letting your real self shine through, not some polished up version.
I like that. Authentic confidence. Okay, speaking of the language around this, let's do a quick vocab boost. There are some really useful words here. First one, flirt. What's the deal with flirting?
Okay, so flirt, it's a verb.
Mm-hmm.
It means behaving in a playful way to show you might be romantically interested. It's usually lighthearted, maybe a bit teasing, not super direct, like a compliment given with a smile or a playful comment.
Got it. How about chemistry? People talk about chemistry all the time.
Right, chemistry. It's a noun. It described that feeling, that sort of natural connection or spark between two people. It's more than just finding someone attractive. It's when conversation flows. You just get each other. You click.
Okay, that feeling when things just work. And compliment, we touched on this.
Yeah, a compliment noun or verb is just saying something nice to someone, expressing admiration. Like we said, a great icebreaker shows interest. But sincerity is key. I really like how passionate you sound when you talk about your work. is better than just, you're nice.
Specific and sincere. Good tip. Now, earlier we mentioned dressing up a bit. What about the phrase dress to impress?
Ah, dress to impress. That's an idiom. It means choosing your clothes carefully to make a really good impression on someone. It shows you made an effort, you respect the occasion.
Right, and finding things in common, mutual interests.
Mutual interests, yeah. That's pretty straightforward. Just hobbies, activities, passions that both people enjoy.
Yeah.
Finding these is huge for building a connection beyond just the first meeting. Gives you something to talk about, maybe do together later.
Absolutely. Okay, last one for now. Follow up. What's that?
A follow-up is basically the next step after the date. It's usually a message like a text or call soon after to continue the connection, maybe suggest seeing each other again, shows you're still interested, like sending a text the next day is a good follow-up.
Perfect. That's a really great list of words. And you can see how knowing them and how to use them really helps you talk about and understand relationships and social stuff in English much more naturally.
Exactly. It's about having the right tools to communicate.
So, just to quickly recap the big takeaways from our deep dive on first dates, it really boils down to showing real interest in the other person, keeping the conversation flowing, being polite with things like the bell, and maybe most importantly, just relaxing and being your genuine self.
Well summarized. It's about connection, not perfection.
Yeah.
And maybe a final thought for everyone listening, something to mull over. Beyond just dates, what part of human connection do you find most interesting? And how does language, English in this case, help you navigate and deepen those connections in your own life? Something to think about.
That's a wonderful question. Food for thought, definitely. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive on English Talk podcast. We really hope you feel a bit more confident, maybe picked up some useful phrases, and feel ready to engage in your own social situations. Until next time.